It's January in Montana, so it's time to head to the Rock Creek Fisherman's Mercantile for Saturday fly tying.
Eat and then run.
Oh boy.
If your fly shop doesn't do this for fly tying, you should get another one. I love it here because they always have something good playing on TV here.
So we're at the Mercantile tying a smaller, I guess mini articulated fly streamer. Yeah, kind of a free tie, more so technique versus exact pattern. But ideally we're gonna put some dumbbell eyes at the front, put a little deer head face on it, and get some fish. Yeah, these are on size 8 Gamakatsus. Can be any size. Usually this back hook being a little bit smaller is a little more advantageous in fishing it, but not necessarily enough to where it's noticeable, I don't think.
Yeah, you can play with those legs if you want.
So one thing I started picking up on tying these streamers is less is more. Less can definitely be more. When you look at the end of it or the final product, you know, it's easier to put fewer material more intentionally on the hook versus as much as you can, and it just kind of coming out. You start to crowd everything, it starts to come out real bulky. It makes it tougher to tie. So let's start with the Marabou. So when you're doing the articulated fly, the streamer, you want to kind of envision what it's going to look like with the articulation in it, with beads, with the shank. How big and how long your tail is kind of up to you, but you want to keep in mind what the rest of that fly is going to have to look like in order for that tail to look appropriately sized. So if you put a huge tail, right, and then the rest of it's pretty sparse and kind of smaller, then it just looks a little out of whack. So I'm not gonna necessarily measure it to the shank, but I want there to be a little bit of a reference there. Probably shank and a half on this one, or so. It doesn't have to be exactly right, but give it a couple wraps backwards, and then once that's tied in, pull it back and then cinch it down to the shank of the hook, so you're not building too much bulk, but you're tightening those wraps so they're not really coming back out. The other thing one of the things I try to do consciously as I'm tying these is give myself an opportunity to not be fighting bulkiness when I come to finish it forward. So if you run your thread back to the front, not necessarily to the eye, but close enough to where you want to end it, throw your Marabou back down, give it another couple wraps up there. Same thing, pull it back and cinch it back down, and then trim that off. So one thing that I kind of learned that I do is put too many wraps to try to get everything tightened down. And if I do that every time we put material in, then it just creates a bunch of bulk and so put enough wraps to where it's down, but you don't have to hide it all. Then we'll take some Krystal Flash and accent the side of this. The side of this Marabou, and that's however many pieces you want to put in there, however many pieces you like. I kind of throw one in here and there. I don't like mine to look too flashy in certain areas. So I don't put too much. I just put 1 or 2. So when we're looking for flank, we want to be square at the top, squarish as much as possible. See that one kind of flares off to the side. That's a good hackling flank. But as far as when you lay it on there, you want to be pretty much square at the back. So there's a square one. That's pretty square. At this point, you want to add a little bit to this shank of this hook. So it's material. It can be flash. I like to use dubbing.
Like 3 or 4 hours to
Yeah.
plan on? Okay.
Yeah. But, you know, like all them heavier hours like this. Gonna do
I could actually dub.
Good.
look good, feel good. Dubbing. Excuse me.
Yeah, dub on a little bit of this section to move away from that tail. We're just gonna give ourselves a little room there. I really like to use flank. So we're gonna use flank today. So what this flank does on the fly is, right, it just catches water and throws it side to side and helps to create some of that kicking, kicking motion that you really want out of an articulated streamer. Not kicking, rolling. But anyway, so once you get a little bit of dubbing there, a little bit of room after that, or past that tail, let's tie this flank in.
I think I need a little flankage.
Thank you, man.
No,
Here you go.
jerk.
Great picture. So is it going to cover all of the Marabou or partway down the
We
Marabou?
want to go to the end of the Marabou.
Okay.
So,
Overlaying Marabou.
yeah. And again, this is something that isn't part of necessarily a pattern, more so this is the theory of fly tying versus the application of it, more so. Or not theory, but yeah. Everything we're doing to this fly at this point is creating surface area for the water to run off the back of it. We want the back to be kicking around, so we get the Marabou, the undulation of the Marabou. We get the flank helping kind of roll it back and forth, and as you're stripping it without too much effort, it just kind of takes it on and kind of kicks it around a little bit. So
So the flank kind of acts as a spoon almost.
yeah, absolutely, yeah, it kind of sits off the back, and when it gets wet, it gets smaller, but it still keeps a little bit of that concaveness to it, which stows it around pretty well.
Look at it.
So I usually like to put a feather hackled on there again for the purpose of catching water and pushing it around. Catching a lot of water, moving water,
Shaking that tail.
shaking that tail. That's right.
Shake that tail, baby.
Shake that tail feather.
Shake the rope.
Shake the tail feather.
Oh, I guess that is it.
A lot of streamers have hackle like down the shank. You can see it down, and it's like there's a few fibers. I don't know necessarily how effective that is, or if it's more so for aesthetics. I think if it's hackled tighter together and kept tighter together, it is more effective. So we're getting to the to the front of the hook here, or the front of the shank, and you can finish it with this.
Pretty fishy.
Pretty and fishy. And then you get pretty fishy.
I did not plan well for my head. That's for sure.
Same.
Well, the
Same
good thing
as
about
this.
it is that there's another part to it that covers it pretty well. So you're in decent shape.
All I can say is, thank goodness it's a streamer.
That's right.
Thank goodness.
You'll put at least one, but pick the color you want and then put a few of them. Well, we'll let you guys finish those. I put usually 2, 3, depends how much, how far into the toke session we've been. One at least, it keeps these wires in a good spot to help articulate.
Using this wire bite.
I gave the shoe right there for you.
Oh, okay.
This is, I couldn't pick them up with my fingers. No, I'm just, another hook.
Yeah. So the best way I found to put these little things, these little beads on, is just to hold these together. Just one a little bit higher than the other, and try to get that sucker in there. There you go. So we got 2 on there, just like that.
You gotta silence that.
And then I'll cut off the last little bit of it here. You guys these to do that.
Yeah.
How the hell they stay on. So I'll take them, just put that up under it like that. My first wrap goes
Let's try to zoom.
over
Yeah.
and then back over. And I will figure eight it for a little bit.
Ah, Jesus.
Yeah, they're gonna be slippery until they're not.
We have rearranging.
Mm-hmm.
We have a wait, Johnny.
So you want the barbells underneath the shank.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the barbells, the fly's gonna ride whichever side those barbells are on. So if you put them on top, it's gonna flip over and swim backwards. I know. So let's put a little bit of dubbing as the first thing back here. And this is just kind of hiding that articulation, keeping a little buffer between it all. Not much other than getting us to move forward on this. I'm gonna take a little clump and lay it on there. Very, very not technical. I'm a fan. Hard breathing, just take that shit back like that. Fold it back. Give it the old comb back.
Comb over.
Should have done orange for old Trumpy. Schmeg. And clumped it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're not doing
Done for old Mehmet.
Not very.
I've got, I can do better.
We're gonna do it forward too.
Well, now we're doing a dubbing.
Just gonna move it forward just a little bit. A couple little dubbing loops. Or not dubbing loops, but dubbing ropes.
I'll do a dubbing loop. Oh, it's starting to look a little fishy.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna hackle a mallard flank around it. You can do mallard, you can do that other stuff. Where is it? That other feather.
This guy.
Yeah. Or if you want mallard, there's mallard.
Let's do some mallard.
Whatever.
Alright.
All the stuff we're doing here is to create this kind of image, this idea that this fish is there and this trout has 2 seconds to decide, if that.
God, why is it playing Annie?
In my world,
So you're, okay, so you tied it in there and then you're coming up?
yeah. If it ain't chartreuse, it ain't no use.
It ain't the truth. Alexa, play Turnpike.
You don't like Little Orphan Annie?
No,
No.
I used to when I was
Monster.
a child.
Then I grew up.
Then I became a thug.
My daughter loves Annie. Sings all the songs. Crazy.
I'm gonna put another piece of marabou in there.
More Marabou?
Just a little tiny
Oh
bit.
boy. I'm out of room.
That's all right.
The one more piece would be nice. Nice.
Well, just a little tuft. Right, not anything too crazy.
Just a tuft. Ooh, I want to go fishing now. How far are you putting this marabou back?
Right to where the end of that mallard is.
Ah. So,
And that no ways, Matt. I'm Dusty.
I'm Lisa.
Lisa.
That guy.
That guy.
oh boy is right.
So, remember at the beginning of the lesson, kids? Less is more.
Aren't you?
No.
So this is the only part of this fly that's going to catch a fish.
Something similar 3 or 4 times. That's okay.
My. That's on the underneath side.
Yes, sir. Pearl belly.
Belly.
So if you want to just take a tuft of this and put it on top like that and tie it over and then bring it back and then you tie it off, you can be done. I'm gonna put some of this deer here. Now I'm gonna fuck it up just for doing
Get some shiggles.
Okay. Well,
They're not the multi-millionaires that are there to have their martinis and sit in camp and complain about food. I don't think Tim caters. I don't think that's his ideal client.
now is Tim the fella his property that we went hunted on?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
my oldest brothers are the kids
Oh, yeah, yeah,
and disabled
yeah.
and
Yeah, they didn't do
what do you say?
anything.
The disabled,
He's your
and
obsidian
the
knife.
handicapped, and elderly, and he said I'm too young to qualify.
Aw, that's good.
Thanks.
What we do?
I'm not my kind of hunting where you
Practice.
park
Practice makes perfect.
for 2 hours.
Yeah, so.
By the end of the day.
Yes.
There's a lot of shit on those things.